Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to take a look at VPNs. Specifically, do VPNs affect your performance of your network and your connection to the internet and other internet-based things very much, or is the disruption minimal? Let's find out. Before we jump back into the results of the test and take a look at a couple graphs in sort of a live way, I do want to mention the way that I did these tests. First off, each test was done 5 times using speedtest.net. Obviously, I took the numbers through those 5 tests and I just simply averaged those out. I will go ahead and mention that even though I averaged out those numbers, there really wasn't that much need to average the numbers because the variance from test to test was virtually non-existent anyways, but I went ahead and got those averages just in case anyways. Also, it's worth pointing out that I used the auto settings for speedtest.net, so I wasn't going around and searching for the nearest server, and I was letting it handle that by itself, which typically it does a pretty good job of finding the fastest servers anyways. And also, I left the Opera settings alone with the VPN. I didn't go into that and see what I could do with that. And as far as the private internet access, I used the Midwest server because that is geographically the closest server to me. Although because of how ping works and distance adding more ping the farther away you are and that sort of thing, your results may vary just based specifically on how close a server is to you, whether you're using the Opera version or whether you're using the private internet access version. So let's go ahead and hop onto the desktop and take a look at those numbers. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and hop right into these numbers. I'm going to keep this as short as possible. I already mentioned that my methodology was testing 5 times for each thing through speedtest.net. Those include the ping, judged in milliseconds, download speed, which is megabits per second, as well as upload speed, which is also timed or shown as megabits per second. So the raw numbers are over here on the left side, and my charts that I'll go over here are on the right side. But real quick, with no VPN, it universally performed better than any VPN I used, which just is common sense. So my ping was by far the best, well not by far the best, but it was the best with 25 milliseconds. My download speed was just shy of 90 megabits per second at 89.67, and upload was 12.02. Now, the interesting thing for me, and you can sort of see this on the graph, is that the drop-off, at least in the upload and the download speeds, was not very much. I was also very impressed that Opera, if I click in here into the view mode, Opera barely, and we're talking less than a megabit per second, barely was beneath the no VPN performance at all. So Opera's built-in browser VPN actually speed-wise kept up really nicely with no VPN, with private internet access in the speed department lagging at the bottom, but even then we're talking about 5 megabits per second on about a 90 megabit connection. So we're not talking a humongous speed hit. The place where Opera did struggle obviously is ping, where Opera was over 48 milliseconds compared to the 25 of the no VPN. Private internet access did a lot better job of actually keeping up with the ping, meaning it would be good for gaming still, because you're only losing about 3 milliseconds to the ping difference between the two. Now, it's worth noting that because of server locations, your results may vary wildly. If you are close to where Opera routes its VPN traffic, you may end up with pings that rival that of your non-VPN solution. So your results may vary. For reference, I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana. So at least for me, the private internet access VPN is way better in that regard. However, because Opera is not going to let me route all my internet traffic through that, so for example my Steam traffic, gaming isn't a concern with the Opera VPN, so the ping being almost double doesn't really make that big of a difference for me. And I guess I should probably go ahead and just full screen this. If we slide down now to the percentages of the control, so the blue being the no VPN, that is always 100% because it's 100% of itself. Private internet access, barely, again, is going to be at 111% of the ping, where the Opera VPN is nearly 200%. And then if you look at the speeds, the download speed, you're getting with Opera 99%, at least in my test, 99% of the non-VPN option, whereas private internet access is lagging behind at 95%. And we sort of see those numbers hold close to true in the upload, with private internet access being at 94% of the non-VPN solution, and Opera being 97% of the free, or of the no VPN solution. So let's bring that back into the context of what that means for us. From a gaming solution, private internet access is going to be a pretty solid option if you're located near enough to a server where to the VPN solution where you're going to get those good pings like I have. I could very easily use private internet access for my gaming solution because I'm only losing about 3 milliseconds to the VPN, and it protects all my network traffic. Now, I don't do that just because I like having those 3 milliseconds, and also I'm an average gamer. No one's trying to come after me or anything. But if you're a Twitch streamer or maybe a YouTube streamer, then this may be the route that you need to take, or that you want to take, just to give yourself that added layer of protection. And obviously, looking at these numbers, unless you're already just barely grazing by on your bandwidth limits, the VPNs, at least the two that I tested here, are not gonna make or break you based on whether you're going to be able to stream or not stream. So private internet access is a good option for streamers. Opera is just a good option in general for somebody that wants to surf online but may not want to pay for a VPN solution. So there it is. That's how VPNs will affect your network performance. If you like this content and you want to see more of this type of content, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Also that subscribe button down below, because it pumps up my numbers and it makes me feel much better about myself. That's all from me for today. So I will see you in the next video.